Hello and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. I am finally back from Historicon. My projects at work are finally slowing up and it's time to get back into tanks. So, the new patch is right around the corner, 7.5, which will include the German tank destroyers and the tier 10 mediums and tank destroyers as well. And I figured I would discuss the tier 10 medium and tank destroyers and what my opinions on it are, because it's kind of a split thing on them. And I mean, really, it can go either way. The way I look at it is the tier 10 mediums are nice. They're going to be fun. The fact that they're fairly weak armored, fairly decent hit points, but a pretty big, powerful gun. But the tier 10 tank destroyers are going to be a little harder to handle because they're going to do some extremely heavy damage. They're going to be able to dish out more than pretty much any tank could be able to take, really. You get two of them working together and you're going to two-shot almost any tier 10 tank. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this with penetration and random dice effect and everything else, but all in all, it's going to change things up mostly for clan wars. I see that really being a big difference. With the mediums, those are really going to take the spots of the IS-7s and the T-110s, which have primarily been the mainstay of any force in the whole of the clan wars. Whereas now you're going to introduce tier 10 mediums, which are going to be pretty much on par with those IS-7s and T-110s, and they're going to be able to be faster, more maneuverable, little different rate of fire, but I mean, then again, I haven't necessarily played them, so I'm only going off what my friends have been relaying back to me and what I've been reading about the tier 10 stuff. So just take me at the just take it as word for whatever it is. But from what I can understand is that is going to be replacing the mainstay of the battle. Now, of course, you'll still see IS-7s and T-110s in clan wars, and not too much. It'll just bring variety into it. Now, as for the tier 10 tank destroyers, you're going to see a lot of them, as they're going to be replacing artillery in terms of a lot of things, because just how much damage and penetration they can do. Easily being able to penetrate most tanks from the front, no matter what type of armor they have, doing near, I think it was 300 something damage I was reading, or 300 something pen, and up around 1200 damage. So you'll be doing a heck of a lot of damage on top of being able to go through anything and everything in the game. So it'll really change things up a bit. And as you can see here, I'm really baiting this Yag Tiger back here, and he just doesn't even know it. He's a good player and all, but he's kind of getting baited back here, and he really isn't ready for this. I think he kind of ran off on his own and he got caught unprepared by me. So, now, I really don't think it's going to change much in the way of how clan battles are fought. You're still going to see a lot of strategies start to be developed around these tier 10 TDs and tier 10 SP or mediums, but it's more going to be the fact that you're going to see a lot of pub matches where it might be unbalanced if you get, depending on what tier 10s will get on the battle. Because if you're going to have two tier 10 mediums against like a E100 and another tier 10 heavy, it's really going to be unbalanced. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of the problems, is in the pub matches where people bring in their tier 10 things. And of course, look, I'm going to use this AFK guy for cover. Because, I mean, yeah, he's not bothering me, so I'm going to use him as a way to keep from getting hit. Because no one wants friendly fire damage. But anyway, the tier 10s definitely are going to be interesting to see how it's going to work in Matchmaker and pubs. It can be good, it can be bad. It really depends on how people learn to coordinate and work against them. I mean, that is how it is now with the tier 10 heavies, but I can't really say what I was going to say because that's true of any sort of match, but I can see it unbalancing pub matches where you're going to have people unable to do damage against those tier 10s, or they're going to be significantly outclassed. And so it's really going to be interesting to see what sort of strategies come up around dealing with those sort of things in pub matches. Because, I mean, that's where your mainstay of your battles are played. I mean, it's not everyone plays all their doubles in clan battles or company battles. And, ooh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so anyway, the the pub matches might get a little skewed, but I'm sure they'll rebalance it if any balancing needs to be done, or it'll just somehow strategies will develop, things will work out, and it'll be interesting to see what all happens exactly. And it's within, I'd say, probably within a week is when we'll see this patch. So I hope everyone's ready and has been working on their tier 9s to get them up to be ready for tier 10s. And if not, then I hope you're ready for when that happens. So it should be, how should I word this? It'll be a growing experience. People, of course, are going to instantly find faults in it, but I'm sure as time goes on, people will find different things about it, find the weak spots, see what works for them and how to counter them. And just, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens when a group of the new stuff gets implemented into the current pub matchmaker, to see just how people in pubs respond and how they're able to coordinate and work against them. And like I said, like 2 tier 10 TDs are obviously going to have a significant advantage above 2 tier 10 heavies, and just to see how that works out and how that kind of jives with things. So it's yeah, it's going to be different. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm kind of excited. I by no means am ready for any tier 10 stuff. I tried, and I'm going to end up eating the Bat Chat at its full price for when it becomes a tier 10, because I don't have the cash to even buy the Lorraine, let alone the time to grind it. The Patton, the T54, E50, all that stuff, I do not have any of that. So I'm going to be grinding it just like everybody else through the standard ways. Now, a lot of people did take advantage and were able to grind up the simple play without double, or play without extra experience to crew away, and I mean, more power to them that they were able to do that, but I unfortunately was not able to. So I get to play it the hard way and find out what it's like. So expect me to take a look at all that tier 10 stuff when I can get to it. In the meantime, I'm sure I'll be doing some of the German TD stuff. So let's flop to another game here real quick with my 4,300 experience here. That was brilliant. Top Gun, Sniper, and then my buddy Mike got Steel Wall. Nice. So let's move on. Now, as for the new German tank destroyers, I really haven't looked at them at all, so it'll be interesting to play through them and see what they're like. I cannot wait. I pretty much liked all the German TDs, so it should be fun to do. As for the E100 here, I'll get to that in a minute, but future plans are to just keep working my way up and, yeah, play with tanks that are new and exciting and fun. I really try and get to those tier 10 stuff, but I don't really see anything other than just achieving the fact that I got it. Which brings me to the E100. The E100, I feel, is actually a really great tank. I really enjoy it, and I can't wait till it actually gets boosted to have an extra couple hundred hit points in this next patch. But in the meantime, this should actually be one of the last games I'm going to play in it, because of the simple fact that once I unlock the new cannon for it, the 128? No, bigger than that. I don't remember. 130, something like that. Either which way, once I unlock that, there's really no more need to play this tank. My crews will have 3 skills each, and I just won't really need a extra tier 10 tank that I'm not going to use because we're not really involved in clan wars. But, I mean, I'll be one of those nice completionist things. I will have topped it out, I will have enjoyed it, and I'll be able to move on to more stuff and be able to focus my time more correctly, for lack of better terms. Now, this thing, it might appear a little slow at first, but, I mean, it moves fairly decently for a tier 10. I really don't have a problem with it at all. And I mean, while I have the mouse cannon on here right now, like I said, I'm within a game or two of getting the E100 gun. It's really accurate and pretty fast firing. I do enjoy it. And I mean, it's simply pretty damaging. It has pretty good pen. And I mean, overall, it's not a half-bad tank. I mean, it is great armor. I just need to learn how to use it a little better because I'm making the mistake of taking shots to the lower glacial, which is, of course, a weak spot for it. And, of course, I leave a Panther with 1 hit point, as typical. Now, we're losing the base here, and our team doesn't look like they're doing too much. So, us on the hill need to beat feet and get over there quick. So, I really like this tank, actually. Like I said, going 30 kilometers is about normal. I don't mind it. Now the mouse cannon actually has better penetration than the E100 cannon, but it does significantly less damage. But then again, that penetration rate is very minuscule, so swapping to it, I probably won't notice too much of a difference. Just gotta aim at the typical weak spots. And of course, long-range shots, well, you can't control where those rounds go. You just shoot and hope that you get through, and there's not a whole lot you can do. Now, luckily, I have a medium tank on my platoon, and I'm sending him, telling him to go load HE and to rush over there and just start spamming shots. Because as you can see by the minimap, there is nothing over there stopping that base camp. And I can imagine, base cap. And I can only imagine that they're either full up on there or have a good number of tanks. So just HE just to do enough damage to break the cap is all we need. And I told him that he needs to hit any little target he can find. Just hit one here, hit one there. Just find a new target, hit it. Reset that cap for us until we can get over there. As you can see, we've already made it halfway across the board and he's reset it once. So if he could just do it a little bit longer, it's all we need. Just one more tank and then we should be able to make it. But of course, cutting it close is something that we do pretty well here. So he just got killed, which means we're out of options. We need to start realizing what tanks were hit. Luckily, he's been communicating to us this whole time about what tanks he's hit and what he hasn't. So that's going to really make it easy for any of us that still need to hit whatever tanks to try and clear it. Now, I know that IS-6 is actually the one holding all the points. So I just need to hit him, and there we go. We're good to go. Bought us a heck of a lot of time. Now, of course, also the Lorraine down there also knew who it was. And we were able to reset it. There's not a lot over here that can do too much to us. There's that T-110, but I'm at full health. On top of the fact that it just got killed. Or no, it didn't. Sorry. Something else got killed. But yeah, I'm at full health. The majority of this stuff will not be able to penetrate me. I just got to worry about that 110 and the 120. 120 being the major thing here. But I'm still working on clearing off the cap points. I'm not focusing on kills yet. I need to make sure that we're secure and safe. And of course, this T-110's coming to hide over top of this. Yeah, the 120's a dangerous target. Gotta take him out. I'll let the T-110 focus on me and hopefully let our team get around behind him. Take care of him. Because, I mean, from the front, that T-110's tough. But overall, I mean, this thing might be gigantic, but man, this thing can take a hit and bounce a lot. Of course, like I said, the weak spot being the lower glacis, or the candy bar up top is always a weak spot as well. And artillery just go right through this thing like it's not even there. And so artillery focusing on an E100 is an easy way to kill it. Now overall, I do my best to try and close the distance and get near buildings to prevent artillery. But I mean, this thing, it's a beauty. I really enjoy it, and I wish I had more application for it rather than the fact that I'm going to be like, hey, I got the new cannon and now there's no more point for me playing it. So I mean, it's not a bad tank. I certainly enjoy it. As you can see here, I'm bouncing left and right. I just wish there was more for me to do with it, because obviously we're not in Clan Wars, and company battles are few and far between, so we'll see. Yeah, we're going to cut this video off here, just because that way I can get one out to you guys quicker. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys cannot wait as much as I can for the Tier 10 TDs and mediums, as well as the German TD stuff. And that 7.5 should be right around the corner. So I'll catch you all in game. I can't wait to see you guys there. So tune in next time. I don't know what I'll have. That will be on tap to see what I can do. So thanks for tuning in, guys. YouTube and Twitter are at the bottom. Please follow me there for updates and stuff like that. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.